Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Travel Bug Bee. So for today's video I'm going to give you guys a bit of an insight and a bit of a rundown about applying for a Canadian Working Holiday Visa or an I.E.C visa. So my intention of this video is to kind of give you guys an idea on what to expect when applying for this visa. Just a quick disclaimer, this is solely based on my own personal experience. Everybody's experience is going to be different, and also this is for an Irish person with an Irish passport who hasn't lived abroad anywhere. And just bear in mind that the criteria may vary between country to country, so make sure you do a bit of research on the criteria that matches your country. So when applying for a Canadian Working Holiday Visa, there are different private companies that do help people with their visa. Personally, I think it's more expensive to do it that way. I know they set up a lot of things for you, but I found from doing a little bit of research that it was actually cheaper to apply to the Canadian government itself rather than to go through a private company. I applied for my visa to the official Canadian government website, canada.ca. I'll leave a link down below for you, and it's the official Canadian government website, and it's very easy to use, and I found them absolutely brilliant. First thing you need to do when you log on to that is create an account, have your username, password and security questions all set up. And just make sure you write these down as well, because if you're like me and you're a bit forgetful of especially passwords, I tend to write them down somewhere safe that you can remember them when needs be. So when you get onto the website, then you can check your eligibility to see, are you eligible to enter Canada in a working holiday visa. So first thing you need is to be between the ages of 18 to 35. You must have a valid passport for the duration of your intended stay in Canada. Basically the I.E.C visa lasts for about 2 years, and your passport must be valid for those 2 years in order to have your visa for the 2 years. Same thing goes for travel insurance. This is a must for entering Canada. Your insurance must cover you for the 2 years that you intend to stay in Canada. You also have to show proof of your funding, so basically you need a minimum of 2,500 Canadian dollars to enter the country, and basically bring a bank statement just to show that you have that amount. Personally, I would always say more. Try and have as much as you can getting in. That way if you want to go off and do some touristy stuff and kind of keep you on your feet then until you find a job and find an apartment or somewhere to live, whatever way you want to do it. So now you have an idea of what you need to be eligible to apply, then you can start your application. So this is step 1. After you have created your account and checked your eligibility, then once you hear back then you're eligible to apply, then you can start your application. This is just a few basic questions. I'm not going to get into too much details as it may vary between country to country, but basically start your application, and once you have them forms filled out, then you go into the pool. The pool is only open at certain times every year. Again, varies between country and country, and how many invitations will be sent out is according to your country as well. So once in the pool, you're waiting to hear back then if you can finish your application. The length of time you'll be waiting does vary between person to person. This is a good time to make sure you have everything in order before you finish your application. Number one thing you do need to remember is you need a police clearance. I have heard from other people, if you have lived abroad in another country, you'll need a police clearance from that other country as well as your home country. This can take some time to process, so the sooner you get your police clearance, the better. Also, this is a good time to save up for your visa fee, which is 150 Canadian dollars. Now, I have heard other people have paid 250 Canadian dollars. I'm not sure why there's a difference. I think I paid 150, but I think it just depends on the time of year and how busy it is, or something to do with that. I have no idea. Step 2 of your application is when you get your invitation. And it's not the final say whether you're getting into Canada or not, so you get excited, but not just yet. You have some work to do. Once you receive your invitation, then you have 10 days to accept your invitation. Once you accept your invitation, you have 20 days to finish your application. Give yourself plenty of time by using the 10 days to your advantage before accepting your invitation, but don't leave it too late. So this is where you fill out all the paperwork. I think there's about 5 different sections of forms for you to fill out. You upload your police clearance, you upload a family form, something like that. Had a bit of trouble printing this off, so just keep that in mind. And then also you pay for your fee. So this is the final paperwork that you need to do, and once that's all done, it's a huge weight off your shoulders. It's amazing. So step 3 applies to mainly European countries as far as I know. is that you need to get your biometrics. Once you've sent off your application, then you will receive an email saying you need to get your biometrics done. And again, this varies from country to country. I had to get mine done in the Canadian Embassy in Dublin, and they go by appointments only, which was a huge pain to get the appointment because it only opens like twice a year when I was doing mine. You can't actually get your appointment until you have a letter to say you need to get your biometrics done. So just bear that in mind. I had to take a day off work to get them done. Another option is to go to a different country, which some people have done. Some people went to London to get their biometrics done, which is a walk-in service as far as I know. But to be honest, I really don't think you should have to pay for a flight to go to London to get biometrics done. I don't know what way it works in Dublin. It's pretty stupid, I think. But they're required, so pretty much has to be done. So you get your fingerprints done, you get your picture taken, and you pay a fee of $85. Step number 4 is an option for some people if you have selected this, is to get a medical done. I think the fee for this is about €350 in Ireland, and it's done in the Mater Hospital in Dublin, as far as I know. And I didn't have to do this now because I didn't select that I wanted to work in the medical field. If you do want to work in a medical field or with children, then medical is required. At the end of the day, it is for your own benefit. It's kind of a hindrance for me for job options, but if you want to get the maximum amount of job options out there, I would suggest getting a medical done. Last and final step, step 5, is the best step of the lot, is when your application has been approved. It is such a nice feeling to have your application approved, and it is a confirmation that you are going to Canada. This is the exciting part because you can book your flights, you can gather up all your savings and your insurance and all that stuff, and it's really exciting. The whole application process can take a while to get done. I think mine took around 2 to 3 months. Some people it could take longer depending how long they're in the pool for. So give yourself plenty of time, but don't book your flights until you have your visa approved. That is the utmost importance. When your application is approved, you get something called a POE letter, which is your port of entry letter. This is extremely important. You need to print that off and take it with you to the border when you get to Canada. Speaking of, once you have your application approved, it gives you 1 year to the date that your application was approved to get into Canada, which is plenty of time. Also, getting into Canada, and this is extremely important for people flying out of Ireland, is you need an ETA, which is basically like a travel visa. Yes, your working holiday visa has been approved, but you have to make sure you have an ETA to get into the country as well. As far as I know, by applying with the Canadian government website, you automatically get an ETA for 5 years, which is brilliant. So you can always come back as a tourist within the 5 years without getting a new ETA. This is extremely important to make sure you know you have this, because I'll be 100% straight with you. If you're flying from Ireland directly to Canada, as far as I know, they will not let you travel unless you have an ETA. Working in the airport, I have seen this firsthand, people being refused onto a flight because they don't have an ETA. So it's extremely important, make sure you have this. You also get a chance to gather up your savings. Like I said earlier, you need 2,500 Canadian dollars. I would always advise way more than that. I'd even say double that. If you can get more than double, that's brilliant, because the more the merrier. And also you can sort out your travel insurance. Just make sure you have all your paperwork in a folder with you when you travel, and do not put anything important in your checked luggage, please, because that is the most stupidest thing you can ever do. So you present them to the Canadian border officer when you get to Canada. Away you go, you can begin your Canadian adventure. So I have never been to Canada before, and I am so excited to get going. I'm going in July. I'll definitely do an update video on my experience at the Canadian border, and let you know what to expect when you arrive into Canada on an I.E.C visa. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic rundown of the application process for an I.E.C visa. I hope this video gave you some insight on what to expect, and I hope you got some tips along the way as well. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you leave us a like, comment, and also hit subscribe as well. You can also check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the links are down below in the description. If you have any questions about an I.E.C visa, I will link the Canadian government website down there. They have a Q&A section. It's really good, very informative as well. 100% recommend having a look at that. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you then for the next video. Bye.